The Aviators was made possible by...
When the unexpected happens, the Lifesaver provides 1 hour of emergency attitude reference, giving you the time you need to land safely. In a mission's darkest moment, trust Mid-Continent Instruments.
Now, for the first time on TV, the stories and reports of the people who fly and the aircraft they fly. And you are invited in an exciting, pulse-pumping new television series designed for everyone who has ever gazed skywards and dreamt of slipping the bonds of Earth. The Aviators.
This week on The Aviators, we take a look at the ins and outs of light sport aviation. We check out Zaon portable collision avoidance systems. We talk to Women in Aviation founder Patty Shabrian.
So say, oh yeah, there are a lot of other women out there doing this.
And we see if a non-pilot can land an airliner.
I don't think there are any odds. I think it's 100% I'm going to not land this aircraft.
From the Boundary Bay Airport, this is The Aviators.
Light sport is one of the fastest growing segments of aviation today. People love them because not only are they easy to use, easy to fly, but they're also really cost effective and amazing on gas. They max out at 1,320 pounds, 120 knots of airspeed, and you can get them on floats, you can get them on wheels, you can even get amphibious ones that look just like boats. They are an excellent alternative for aviation enthusiasts.
In 2004, the FAA created the light sport aircraft category. Since that time, it's been embraced by manufacturers, with major brands such as Cessna and Piper producing aircraft that meet LSA requirements. The Aviator's Sarah Rapenda caught up with Greg Ellsworth from the Light Aircraft Manufacturers Association. Greg gave us some insight into why light sports are so popular.
Greg, tell me a little bit about light sport and why it's so popular right now.
Well, I think they're brand new airplanes. And they have a lot of interesting new features available to them. In other words, first of all, it's a brand new two-place airplane. And it's got some real interesting things with the pilot licensing on it. And there's a lot of people that are maybe worried about flying later on in life, and maybe their medical not working and stuff. As long as they have a valid driver's license and have a pilot's license or a light sport license, they're able to fly these airplanes.
What makes a light sport aircraft a light sport aircraft?
Well, that's a specific category, and that category has some weight limitations and some speed limitations, and mostly it's a 1,320-pound aircraft. We're looking at this new Piper one right here. There's also amphibious airplanes or ones that have floats on them as well. Either they fit into a category which gives you a little more weight. It's up to 1,430 pounds. They can't go over that, and they have a max speed rating of 122. So they have to stay in that. And basically, these are travel airplanes. You can go a long ways. They're faster than the old Cessna 150s were.
Unlike the ultralight class, which requires no pilot's licensing in the U.S., light sport aircraft require either a regular pilot's license or a sport pilot license to fly. Pilots who hold a sport pilot license are restricted to flying during daylight hours only and are limited to certain airspace and altitudes. But the advantage of light sports versus ultralights is the ability to carry a passenger. According to Greg, this is one of the reasons the class was developed.
I think the history came out of the ultralight movement where we were trying to fix the two-place thing that was never available in ultralights. Started off with some committees, and ERAC committee was around. They were trying to fix the two-place exemptions and stuff so we could do some flight training in them. So we got together and we worked out the standard and came up with a light sport category. And now there are, I think, 105 of these registered as light sports, special light sports, which means they're factory built. And you can buy them and fly, get your license and take it off and go flying. You don't have to build it. There are some available kits that are experimental light sports, but these are fully factory-built airplanes. This is the first time this has ever been done in aviation in the United States, or maybe in the world.
Light sport aircraft run the gamut of all sorts of designs, and it's not hard for a pilot to find the right one for them.
This is another great example of light sport aircraft. It's also amphibious, but it's on floats. The weight rises from 1,320 to 1,430 to allow for the extra weight of the floats. Cruises along at about 90 miles an hour, seats too comfortably, and the beautiful thing about an amphibious aircraft is that not only can you land it on a lake for your cottage and fishing needs, but you can also land it at your local airport for routine maintenance.
The extra weight available for amphibious light sports has spurred a number of amphibious designs, including small flying boats such as the Sea Ray.
This is the Sea Ray LSX, and it is a great example of amphibious light sport. You cruise along at about 80 to 90 miles per hour, and it sips at gas at only 5.5 gallons per hour and about 4.5 hours of range. But the really interesting feature of this aircraft is the folding wings. It's regularly at about 30 feet, but you fold them up and they're at 10 feet. You can store it in your hangar or in the garage if you want to.
Sea Ray is not the only company embracing this style of amphibious light sport aircraft. The Icon A5 was designed to bring the freedom, fun, and adventure back into aviation. With a large input from the automotive industry, the A5 is targeted as a way for the average consumer to get into aviation. According to former F-16 pilot and Icon founder Kirk Hawkins, the creation of the light sport class is what made this possible.
This aircraft was designed from the very beginning by some of the best aircraft engineers together with some of the best auto engineers and designers in the world to try to create the first true, pure, consumer-focused sport recreational flying vehicle. The reason that we can do that today is because there's two big changes by the FAA in the US, and that is one, the creation of light sport aircraft category, and two, the sport pilot license, which allows almost anybody to fly now safely with adequate training for about half the time and half the cost previously. So about 2 or 3 weeks of training, $3,000 or $4,000, and anyone who's ever dreamed of flying now has safe access to that market. And that's sort of where we come from, and this is the product that we think can inspire people to actually get out and do that.
Light sport is a U.S. regulation. Most other countries have similar regulations known as either ultralight or microlight. For those interested in this sort of aircraft, be sure to check with your local regulator. Regardless of where you are in the world, the FAA's light sport classification has resulted in a whole lot of new, fun, and exciting aircraft.
The Aviators, for everyone who has ever gazed skywards.
For more information on today's segments, visit www.theaviators.tv.